It's the champ, Shannon the Cannon, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. And you're watching Sports Icons. Subscribe. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Champ.
So as I said in the previous video there are in fact 3 fight cards this weekend that may be of some kind of interest to you. The first one, of course, will be here in the UK on the Matchroom Boxing Next Gen event in Cardiff, Wales, with Joe Cordina against Sean Dodd in the main event. Next Gen meaning all the up-and-comers are going to be given their chance to kind of like own a show, that kind of thing. So it's a very interesting one, no doubt. Also over on HBO for Kathy Duva, she has Sergey Kovalev going up against Alvarez in the main event, and the co-main event, Bivol versus Chilemba. So them 2 fights are interesting for me. The rest of the fight, or the rest of the card, I don't know a damn thing about it, in perfect honesty. Now, we have Devon Alexander and Andre Berto in the 3rd event this weekend, and I thought it was a Showtime fight, or Showtime event, PBC. I don't know why, because I knew it was Lou DiBella, and for whatever reason I always thought that Lou DiBella's events or his shows always go on Showtime. I don't really know why I thought that, but I did. But either way, I was wrong, and it's on USA Fox. So a DiBella entertainment show on USA Fox, which is very interesting, and this will be at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, which happens to be the same venue as, potentially anyway, Danny Jacobs versus Sergey Devrichenko on November the 10th. So either way, this card, I have to give it up to Lou DiBella. He's putting on a very good show. Obviously, the main event, Devon Alexander, who's 27 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, will be going up against Andre Berto, 31 wins and 5 losses. It's a very, very close fight. It's a 50-50, and you can pretty pick whoever you want, and I'm not going to argue with you. But for me, I'm just going to kind of hedge it with Devon Alexander. I think Devon Alexander, he's going to beat Andre Berto by points. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Devon Alexander dominates him that much that Andre Berto quits in this fight, which is pretty much what happened against Sean Porter, right? But no matter what, it's going to be a very interesting fight. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Berto wins this one, but I think I'm probably just going to lean towards Devon Alexander. So the main event is very, very good. Now, the rest of the card, as I said, big up to Lou DiBella. I've always said this, that in America, the main event is always pretty good, but the undercard is pretty average, usually. And this is why, I've said it many times before, why I like Matchroom Boxing events, because the main event and the undercard is usually pretty good. Frank Warren has a similar kind of one to America, where they have a great main event and sometimes a good undercard, but mostly it's the subpar, okay, just to get some of the fighters out there. But Lou DiBella has really put on a very good undercard, and starting off with Peter Quillin, and he will be taking on Jelion Love. Now, Peter Quillin is 33 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and Love is 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. So again, that's a very, very interesting fight, no doubt. Kid Chocolate is obviously on like a bit of a comeback now, so good luck to him on that one. Again, I don't really know who's going to win this one, but if I had to bet, which I don't bet anyway, but if I did, Quillin, I'm probably going to pick for that one. But also, we have Sergey Lipinets on his comeback now, where he's now 13-1. Of course, you all know about the Mikey Garcia fight. And he's going to be taking on Eric Bone, who is 20 wins and 5 losses. So you would certainly expect Lipinets to win that one. But it's a good, interesting fight for him to come back for. Let's see what his state of mind is. Also on the card, the infamous Luis Collazo. He's 37 wins, 7 losses. He's entering the journeyman kind of tag now, I suppose, but he's still a very interesting fighter. He's still ranked quite highly as well, and he will be taking on 15 wins and only 1 loss in Bryant Perella. So who's going to win that one? I do not know. To be honest, I don't know anything about Perella, but his record would suggest he's not bad. So Luis Collazo may be in for a bit of a tough night's work here. So anyway, again, that's interesting. So that is actually 4 fights that's of some kind of interest. Let's add another one. Marcus Brown. He's making a bit of a name for himself, 20-0. He's going to be taking on a kind of dangerous opponent in Lenin Castillo, who's 18 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. So Marcus Brown, he's really going to show us, is he the real deal or is he not? So very interesting one, no doubt. There are some other ones on here as well. There's a female one as well for the WBA World Female Super Middleweight title for Alicia Napoleon, who is 9 wins, 1 loss, going up against Hannah Rankin, who is 5 wins, 1 loss. So a world title fight on the card, which is probably like the only kind of bone I could really pick with this card, with the fact that out of all these fights, there's only one title fight, which happens to be the female one. But either way, we have Antonio Russell, 11-0, and he's going to be taking on a journeyman in Lucas Rafael Baez with 33 wins, 16 losses, and 5 draws. So it'd be interesting to see Antonio Russell. Also, we have a very good fight, in just my opinion, Brandon Figueroa, 15-0, taking on a 13-0 fighter, Luis Roy Suarez Cruz. That's an interesting one. That's definitely one to watch. 2 undefeated guys who are just starting out their journey as pros. So it'll be interesting to see where the winner goes and, of course, where the loser goes after this one. There is another few fights on here, but I don't really know who they are. Richard Comey, I don't know who he is, but he's 26-2, and he'll be taking on Yardley Amenta Cruz, who is 24 wins and 10 losses. So I don't really know. That's only an 8-rounder. Also an 8-rounder in somebody who could well be the real deal one day, in Gary Antoine Russell, currently 6-0, and he'll be taking on Jose Arturo Esquivel, who is 10 wins and 7 losses. Also, we have Jude Franklin on the card, 8-0. We have Marlo Moore on the card, who is 1-0, and he'll be taking on Thomas Hawkins, who is 4 wins and 2 losses. So it'll be interesting to see if either of these guys, I suppose, are going to be the real deal. Marlo Moore, as I said, only 1-0, so very early for him. And also, we have a guy who's 3-0 in Joey Spencer, with an opponent yet to be announced. So the card itself is pretty good, as I said. So there's quite a few good names. The main event, obviously, Alexander versus Berto. Fantastic stuff. Quillin versus Love. That's a very, very 50-50 fight as well. Sergey Lipinets on his comeback since his Mikey Garcia loss, taking on Eric Bone. So it'll be good to see Sergey Lipinets. Luis Calazo, very interesting, taking on Perella. And Marcus Brown, be very interesting to see what he's made of when he takes on Lenin Castillo. And Antonio Russell, again, 11-0. Brandon Figueroa going up against another undefeated guy, Luis Roy Suarez Cruz. That's an interesting one. So big up to Lou DiBella for this one. This is what I mean. This is always kind of my beefs with some of the American cards and Frank Warren cards and Haymaker Promotions and maybe Cyclone Promotions and a few others. That the main event is usually okay, or well, it's between okay and very good. But I like cards where the main event is not only good, but the undercard has some very good fights on it too. And Lou DiBella has delivered, in my opinion. So anyway, drop your thoughts below. What do you think about this card? For me, I think this card could well actually be better than the Kovalev versus Alvarez card, with obviously Bivol and Chilemba on the card as well. But outside of those two fights, the rest of the card for me doesn't mean anything to me. So just on the entire card for itself, the quality of the card, I'm probably going to have to side with Lou DiBella over Kathy Duva as to who has delivered. So anyway, and quite possibly, I might actually say Lou DiBella's card may have actually outdone Eddie Hearn's card for Matchroom Boxing on the next gen. Potentially. There's still some good fights on there. Like, I really like Cody Davis, he's going to be on there. I really like Joe Cordina as well, and Daniel Yulusinov, and a couple of others, of course. But for me, I think this card looking pretty good. So big up Lou DiBella for putting on a card like this. So everybody else, drop your thoughts below. So out of these 3 events, the Lou DiBella one, the Kathy Duva one, or the Eddie Hearn one, which one to you looks like the most interesting one out of all of them? If you're not too sure about them all, go check out my previous videos and you'll get to see the entire card which I've spoken about. So yeah, it's a very good, interesting weekend of boxing. I think all 3 of these events are pretty much for the boxing hardcore. I think that's probably best to say, because there's no real kind of household names on any of these, outside of maybe Kovalev, I suppose. Although Alexander and Berto, they are pretty big names, but they're not household names. So yeah, I think for me, I'm probably going to edge with Lou DiBella ever so slightly, which is against my better judgment. So yeah, anyway, well done Lou DiBella for putting on a very good, interesting card. And as I said, this will be in New York. Drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.